one of the best pieces of advice I got, and this was when I was thinking about where I was contemplating, should I drop out, should I finish?
Yeah.
And one of my mentors like, Abram, you only got 100% of you. That's it. So you could give 50% to college, 20% of your glass business, and whatever else left to this real estate business,
Or just
or
go
you
all
could
in.
drop out and go all in and give 100% to the thing that
That's
you
the
know
real.
you prove the concept. And then when you get to the point where you could do this, do that, then, let's look at that. So I always believe in 100% focus on that one thing, because at the end of the day, I could try to get in the stocks, I could do this, do that, but it's really just gonna slow down what I already know.
Stimulation like coffee, swear they ready to risk it. D&D if it's positive, never fail, they'll miss it. Entitlement, hypertension, accountable is deficient. Painted like I'm Da Vinci, but own it like my invention. I feel like I benefited when reading my brother's sentence.
What's going on? We're back with another episode of One Goal Away. It's your boy, Coach Q. We're not just another podcast. We're here to give you real insights on business, tech, and foundation of growth. I got my guy.
Come on, it's your boy Joshua Mundy, man, and we got a special guest today. As you all know, over the weekend, man, the market has been just bloody red, and my guy Abram Mitchell runs Triple M Method, but he's in the real estate, heavy in real estate, and we're going to just be having a conversation about really, is this the right time to start developing real estate? Is it the right time to buy real estate? As well as how's the tariffs are going to impact, what he does on a day-to-day basis. So I'd like to introduce you all to my guy, Abram Mitchell.
Let's go.
What's good? Appreciate y'all. Let me have me on here.
Yes, sir. Let's just talk about how was your weekend, bro?
Man, it was good, man. Kind of took it easy this weekend. We had the bad weather in Nashville. I went to the gun range, though.
Okay.
You safe. You safe.
Got some tall days, there was something there, but not too much.
Not too much. So let's dive in. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then just talk about how you got into real estate and what sparked you to get into real estate.
Yeah. So
And tell them how young you are, bro, because that was one of the most impressive things about it is how early you got into it.
yeah. So I'm 27 right now, which sounding old. I'm getting close to 30. But I started off at 20 years old. So I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Bounced around, grew up most of my life in Baton Rouge. I just skipped to it. So I went to college in Lafayette at UL, and I was just there going through the motions, doing well. Was on the president's list, 3.9 GPA, all that. But then summer 2018, I was just, I tell the story exactly how it was. I wanted to be rich, young. You know what I'm saying? I remember my parents being like, we ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to be rich because you always asking for stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember the first time I seen a Lambo, I was like, I probably had to be about 15, 16 years old. Like, where we from, you don't really see that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just seen them on TV, and I remember riding up Perkins Road. I remember we was on the way to church, and I'm in the car. I'm on the end, my cousin in the middle, my brother, he on the other end, and we riding up Perkins Road, and then, boom, I just seen a yellow Lambo, just ride past. And when I seen that, I'm like, no, y'all seen that? We just seen a Lambo, you know what I'm saying? That was the type of things that motivated me, at that time. So it's gonna make sense. When I was looking up the jobs in college and looking up what my earning potential was, I'm like, this ain't nothing. This ain't gonna take care of me, you know what I'm saying? So I was in college going through the motions and just plotting on when I'm gonna make my exit, when I'm gonna, what's the next opportunity. So I usually just pray to get on my knees, pray to God, hey, I'm gonna be rich. Show it to me. Wherever the opportunity at, I'm hopping on it, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I see it. So I'm just telling them, look, God, just make me rich. And then one day I came across wholesaling real estate. And then I'm like, this it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing people my age making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 off of real estate deals without no money, no credit. At that time, I ain't got none of that.
So was this when you got exposed to wholesale, because when I started seeing wholesale real estate the most was during the pandemic.
Yeah, I was on it before that.
Okay, you was on it before the pandemic.
Explain what wholesaling is for people that may not understand what it is.
So good question. So wholesaling is when you basically middleman a deal. So say say you a cash buyer, you looking for flips, you know, you looking for properties to buy, renovate, put in your portfolio or sell it.
Yeah.
And say you got a property, maybe, you know, your parents left it to you, or maybe your second home or something like that, and you rent it out. And say your property causing you stress, or maybe you at a point where you got equity in it and you just see a good time to sell it. So me as the wholesaler, I specialize in getting in front of people like you. People that want to offload their property, they want to offload it quick. You feel me? So I come to you, yo, what's up, Josh? My name's Abram Mitchell with Net Home Offer. I see you got this property at 123 Main Street. I'll give you a cash offer on it. We could close in 30 days. You know, let's go ahead and agree on the price. Let's say we agree to $100,000. We put that on the contract, boom, 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 boom. We on contract. We say we gonna close in like 30 days. Whole time I ain't got
no money. I ain't got yeah. You know, I'm in college. I ain't got $100,000.
I ain't got no bank relationships to make the money, but guess what? I know him. Yeah. And I know that Q is looking for deals, and I know that he got the money. So I'm gonna go to Q and I'm gonna be like, look, I got this deal that you can renovate, put money into it, and it's worth $200,000. Q will be like, all right, cool. Let me check it out. Boom, let me run my numbers. My numbers check out. Okay, cool, let's do it. I'll sell you the deal for $120,000. So when we show up on closing day, who coming with the money? So I got he come with the money. I got the property. You got the property. You about to do it. You just got the paperwork. I'll leave them. So I do an assignment contract. So I do an assignment contract with you, assigning my interest of the deal, the contract, over to him for my fee, which is the $20,000. You get the $100,000. You get the property. So everybody win. You got your 100. I got my 20. You got the property. You go make, 50, 60, 70 off of it.
You know what's crazy about wholesaling, bro? If you look at all the biggest businesses currently, it's all middleman business.
Yes.
Uber's a middleman business. Amazon is a middleman business. Hell, what's your Temu? All of these are people that connect the people that got it with the people that want it.
But what's the key thing that all those businesses got in common? Uber, Amazon, the wholesaler. What's the key?
The technology is one.
They solving the problem.
They're
solving the problem.
They bringing people together.
They bringing people together. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like one of the number one principles of business.
For sure.
And that's why I love service-based businesses, because now it set me up to not have to, when you got a product, I'm not saying that's bad, but you got to focus on pushing that product and people like it. But if you got a service, then now you focus on being a solution to the problem that people have. And that's what Amazon do a good job of, Uber, and then that's what I did as a wholesaler.
I want to take, so you on this street, you see this Lambo, right? Yeah. And you say, number one, I want to get rich. Yeah. And then you come across the wholesaling opportunity. Yeah. Did you dive right into it? And then number two, did you ever have like in pockets, you a young dude at this point, did you have like, because that's a big, I'm trying to picture myself at that age and that age taking 100,000 to 200, because houses ain't cheap. So now I got my name on the contract for 200,000 or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And you got to have the confidence that you're about to find a buyer. You got to build a network of people that got that type of money, and you got 30 days to do it. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have any snafus in that first time? Like, did you really cross? Did you ever?
You know what I'm saying? It's sort of, I would say this. This like shout out to my parents, because I think having a good structure, and what I mean by a good structure is that parents that never. I was like a kid that like I used to get in trouble in school and stuff, and then like my grandpa used to tell my parents, he just got a big imagination. Let him be him. You know what I'm saying? Let him be him. So what I think my parents did a good job at is like, if I told my dad, hey, I'm about to learn how to fly to space, he gonna be like, when?
Let's do it. Let's do it. That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's so important as a kid to have a support system or be exposed to people that just, I would say in a sense, agree with everything.
For sure.
Like agree with your imagination. So at that point in my life, I ain't know no better.
Yeah, you had no fears.
It was no fear.
Yes.
It was like whatever. Like I don't have nothing to lose, but I have everything to gain.
Yeah.
And I feel like if more people go into things with that mentality, the gain, the upside is you go get to the upside. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gonna have some L's and bumps, but at the end of the day, we built to problem solve. We built to push through. But what happens is You start off as a kid, you go to school, they start telling you, raise your hand to ask a question, or you can't talk, or you can't do this, or be realistic. And a lot of kids' dreams, you still say the biggest dream killer is parents.
For sure. And we do it, well, parents do it in the name of like protection.
Protection.
But it's really like passing their fears on to their kids.
Exactly.
Minimizing, play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
So you never had, like your parents never told you play it safe.
Nah.
You went wholesaling, you rocking.
Yeah.
What was the next pivot? Or did you stay in there for a while?
So I started off wholesaling. What's crazy is my parents entrepreneurs, like they self-employed hustlers, like my dad couldn't get a job. Like he couldn't. That wasn't a choice for him. So once he decided to get himself right, get everything together after, doing what he was doing, we got into the glass. I'm saying they got into the glass business.
Right. You was there watching. You was
watching. I'm saying, so like my people, they was selling plate lunches. I've been with them hustling everything. And then he's like, hey, I done found the legit way, the glass business. You know what I'm saying? So the glass business, it's like the legal drug game. Like
glass.
Windshield replaced. Like you ever been riding up the street and a 18-wheeler or rock hit your windshield, and the next thing you know, it's cracked.
Just happened to me.
Just happened
to the stack on the windshield.
Exactly. So that's the business my parents got into. And then basically, through watching them in that business, I eventually got into that business in college, So I had negotiated basically a lease with a car wash, because you work at a full service car wash, they got a lot of vehicles pulling up. So I'll pay that car wash monthly to sit on their lot, and then I'm checking out vehicles to see if they got a crack on it, because insurance covered it. That was the other play. So I'm going up. I'm looking at your windshields up. How you doing, man? What's your name? My name.
I mean, you searching out cracks like you saw you chips.
Exactly. I said, hey, I don't know if you know, but you got a chip on your windshield, and I don't know if you know, but depending on who you're insured with, I can take care of that for you. It's no charge to you. The insurance ain't gonna drop you. None of that. And then it take, by the time your car done, this done.
And see, that's really like an amazing way to build a skill set, because a lot of kids, younger people don't have the gift of gab.
Yeah.
They don't know how to have a conversation, to talk with people. Yeah. So you're able to now sell anything. Yeah. I'm just figuring that skill set and that confidence. Right. Where if I can sell windshields, and I can sell houses.
You went exactly where I was going with. Yeah. That's why that part of the journey is so important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I remember the first time my dad dropped me off at the car wash, and I looked at him, he like,
figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, usually teach me, he taught me how to repair the windshield one time. He said, that ain't even the most important part. The most important part is you asking every single car that pull up, if they want to get their windshield repaired. And he said, every single no will bring you closer to a yes. So then, like you said, the same thing transferred over to houses. So I was already preparing myself by building that skill. And I feel like everybody that's watching this, if you don't know what to do, no matter what, build your sales and marketing skills. Yeah. For sure. You might not be in the right vehicle right now. You might be doing it to repair windshields. You might be doing it to sell fireworks, like I think. Or you might be doing it for a company that's paying you pennies. But at the end of the day, once you build that skill set, nothing could be taken away from you. So now, once you pair it with the right research, you put it in the right vehicle. That's what I did. I put it into real estate. And now I'm on the phones calling people, doing sales and marketing. So I ain't care about people hanging up in my face telling them all. Right?
Everything is about sales and marketing at the end of the day. So let's talk about the transition. So wholesale is booming. I'm doing pretty good. I know you started developing, you started teaching wholesaling, but then what made you say, man, I want to step my game up from wholesaling to actually doing the development?
Yeah. So I closed my first wholesale deal October 19, 2018. I made $32,000 off of that. That's
first deal.
Yeah, first deal, right, in college. So I dropped out of college immediately, packed up my car, moved to Nashville, not immediately. December 9th is when I moved to Nashville. Boom, I got here, and then I just focused on doing as many wholesale deals as possible. So 2019, I invested about $50,000 into myself, I spent my 21st birthday at an event, a real estate mastermind in Phoenix, Arizona. I dropped $14,000 to be at that event because I knew I wasn't in it for one deal. I needed to build a system, to breed consistent deals. So over the next few years, I focused on building my wholesale operation up. and we built it up to $1 million a year in revenue operation. But what I learned is that, okay, I'm making a lot of cash, but then I got that first multi-six-figure tax bill, and I'm like, shit.
Hey, you preaching to the choir. What's
Yeah.
his taxes, boy?
Like, I got hit with that tax bill, and I'm like, damn, I gotta, there has to be another level of growth, and then I'm reading books. If you're not growing, you're dying. I started kind of seeing everybody catching on the wholesaling, so I'm like, it's only a matter of time
You got it.
before this game get washed up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, 2020, I sold a real estate deal to a guy, and I made $24,000. He made $200 on it. So he made
Light bulb moment.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. Like, it motivated me. I wasn't hating, but I'm like, I was in between him and 200,000. So now I need to figure out how to acquire the financing. You know what I'm saying? So then that's when I found out about hard money lenders. And then next time I was like, okay, next time I find a good deal, I'm gonna buy that deal. So in 2020, I did a fix and flip. So I was able to leverage a hard money lender. Anybody that's watching this is trying to get in real estate, you don't need $200,000 to buy a $200,000 house. You only need about $10,000 to $20,000. You just need to be able to leverage the down payment. So what I did was I used a hard money lender to buy a $310,000 house. I only had to bring, I had a good relationship, a good deal, so I only had to bring 5% to the table to fund this deal. And then for the people that's like, well, where you get the 5, 10, 20%? Leverage credit cards, You could get high limit credit cards. It's not that hard to get those.
Yeah.
They passing out money.
Yeah, they
You know what I'm saying? They giving it away.
But you take that money and put it towards something that can bring you back in money. Yeah, he didn't say go get the credit cards and go to the mall. He didn't say do that. Yeah.
Which I did that before. But my first pair of Balenciagas, I'm gonna be honest.
See, my first bag came off a T-shirt refund check. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, that's better than credit. No, at least that you lose a,
But still don't pay that back in.
Nah, but seriously, so I was using the wholesale money to get, so I'm like, damn, I'm stacking no cash. All right, this one I'm gonna use as cash for. Did that first flip. I bought that deal like August. Yeah, August of 2020. End up selling it in October, November, like beginning of November. I made $80,000 off of that first flip.
Damn.
So in the midst of that, I did a few other flips, and I did a 6-figure flip where I made $100,000. But I'm like, man, this flip stuff is like too back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I'll get into it, knock out the walls, and then my rehab budget go from $50,000 to $80,000, Quick. So I had some flip deals that I did well on. I had some flip deals that I didn't do well on. I broke even on. So I'm like, and then being in Nashville, seeing all this development, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna transition into development, because when I'm thinking about doing a fix and flip, and this might sound backwards, when I think of doing a fix and flip versus a new build, it's easier to build a house brand new.
It is.
Because I'm starting from scratch. I'm not messing with an 80, 100-year-old house that there's only so much Band-Aid you could put on something that's already old, bleeding. Versus a new build, I'm starting with the land, dirt, from scratch. And then on top of that, I'm working with professionals, and I could move my new build projects like an assembly line. So I could send in the foundation guy. When they done, I could send them to the next house and then bring my framing crew in. You know what I mean? So on and so on. They only at the house for the most a week or two.
Do you think it's more tied to you being able to predict your cost? Because when you go into a rehab, it's a lot of projections that you blind to some stuff.
You don't know what you got to do.
And you guessing, but you might get in there and realize, okay, it's an extra $50,000 I didn't anticipate versus a new build the cost a lot more static. Is that you think it has something to do with it?
Yeah, you know what you're getting into whenever you're doing a new build. You feel me? So I bought my first new development in 2021. So it was a deal. It was crazy. So I put this deal under contract for $180,000. And I was still wholesaling at the time. So I send the deal out. And the same buyer that got me on that deal where I sold it for $24,000, he made $200. He offered me on the deal, and I was gonna make $40.
Okay.
But at that point, I ain't need the $40.
Yeah.
So when I looked at the deal, I'm like, and this is why you always got to check your zone, coding, all that. Like, know what the best use of the land is. So when I looked it up, I seen, damn, I could put 2 properties. It's zoned for 2.
Yeah, you get that.
And then where the house was located, I didn't have to scrape the house. I could just put another house next to it because it was an oversized lot. So I decided to buy the deal, leverage the hard money lender. At that point, my relationship was so solid with the lender, I barely had to bring nothing to the table to fund this deal. So end up putting money, about $80,000 into the existing house, sold that for $425. This in the midst of after COVID market just booming out of control. I got lucky on this deal. I made like 125, 130 selling the house. Then I still had the lot.
So you was able to build on the lot and
Make some money out of it.
Basically got paid 6 figures. It still kept the lot. You know what I'm saying? And then this is why your environment matters. So I was living in a high rise at the time. That was a goal I made when I first moved to Nashville. I ain't never seen them things coming up. So I'm like, I'm gonna go move in these high rise soon as I can, even if I ain't barely got the money or not. We gonna figure it out. You know, coming from Louisiana, we used to $700 rent. My first high rise was $1,650. You know, so I signed the lease as soon as I can, got the fake stubs, all that stuff. So I was W9. Yeah. I was W9, so that's a little harder to get approved. But I remember hearing on podcasts, they like, man, where you live at, your environment matters. So I ended up meeting the banker that funded my first new construction deal inside my building, wherever I lived at. So I started that relationship about 7 months before I actually did the deal, but I knew already that I was getting into development. That's why it's so important for you to write down your goals and know what it is, know what the fuck you want to do. Know what you want to do before you do it and write it down and be intentional. You know what I'm saying? So even though I wasn't ready to build at that point in time, I was letting that banker know, hey, I'm looking to develop. I'm looking to get into new construction. What paperwork I'm going to need for you, what I'm going to need, you know what I'm saying, to where now as soon as that opportunity come across, I'm ready to hop on it.
If you really, as we are having this conversation, I hope that you're listening to some of the key themes. And one of the key things is one that he invested in himself. So he wanted to figure out what he wanted to get into, and he paid $14,000 to go to a mastermind that put him in an environment where he can get the knowledge and information that he needs. A lot of times we want to do things, but we don't want to invest in it. So we want everything for free, or we want the hookup, and we want all these things. But if you don't make the investment in yourself, you're never going to get the returns that you are looking for, because nothing is overnight. This is from 2018 to now 2025. This is over a 6-7 year period where you're building, but you're constantly building, investing, environment. So I want y'all to just stop and listen to these themes of these framings on really how it works and how people get to where they need to be and where they want to be by just creating this framework that is you can duplicate this framework over and over and over again.
Then a lot of people think when they see and hear these stories, it's all scam. Like people don't trust in what they see no more. So it's good for people to really hear you talk about not what you do, but how you did it, what those steps are. And then to add to the environment piece, I know you talked about your parents, and I know my granddad was an entrepreneur. So when I was 6 years old, I used to go he had a grocery store. Okay. So I would go in his grocery store and he would just give me the key to the Gallagher machine and Pac-Man. I would play all day. I thought I was rich already because I was the only kid that could just keep playing, but it put that in my mind, owning and doing that was something I could do at a young age.
It's never something for me.
Now here's the thing about it. Now for y'all that may not come from an environment that's that supportive, like Josh said, your network. So we building a community right now called One Goal Away. Right. And that's the name of the podcast as well, but it's really trying to get like-minded people around you, because you're never too old or past the point where you can start developing a supported community, because you can also have the opposite. You can have people around you that kill every dream before it gets started, and then you just never get nothing off the ground, because as soon as you start mentioning what you're thinking about doing, people gonna start killing it and giving you all the reasons it couldn't work. So you got you sitting on all these dreams and gold mines because you didn't start with no bread. You didn't mention my daddy gave me $200,000.
Hell no.
You didn't mention none of that. So people always looking and saying, yeah, but he probably had this or she probably had that. And most of the time it's just belief, confidence, and a support system. And that means separate yourself from people that don't support you and get around the right people. That when you start talking about, me and Josh talk about 100 million, hey, we finna build $100 million business. We've been talking about that together since we started Pivot. It ain't changed, and we don't think it's crazy Now we mentioned this to some people, and they like, huh, really, y'all, because it sounds
You just talking about $1 million deals, you know what I'm saying? Like it's regular.
it's not regular, bro.
If you change your matrix, you change how you think about things, then it's like, if somebody did it, then I could do it.
That's a fact. And I think I saw a meme that said, do not search for the fake dopamine of telling your dreams to everybody.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times, again, people put their fears on you.
Yeah.
Oh man, how the hell you think you're gonna do that? Really? They ain't even really.
They really saying how I think I can.
Come on.
They really thinking of themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I dealt with that a lot starting off, you know what I'm saying? Because I was telling everybody, but it motivated me. You know, now everybody different.
Everybody, but see,
It's different.
your people's risk tolerance levels are different, right? And that's what I'm learning too. So if you got a risk tolerance that's high, then you don't really care about none of that. And some people play it safer, and they need real supporting communities. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, if you gonna tell me no, then I'm gonna show
I'm
you
a feel.
10 reasons why.
I want to take it to the future, like the present and in the future right now. Like right now, people are like terrified of the real estate market.
Yeah.
Interest rates are high, prices are high,
Mm-hmm.
and people are talking about housing collapses and all of this. So even people that want to get into real estate, and we all know people that done got caught holding the bag. You know what I'm saying? Developed too quick. Guys, I know a couple of people had some $1 million houses that they end up having to eat because they couldn't get them off. Like, and I know community. So how do you like let people know it's still a good time to get into real estate? And what are some of the strategies you would tell people to navigate the way the market is right now?
So that's a good question. I would say, like, it just depends on your strategy. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this is another thing. Like, if you can't eat in all market conditions, then you're not really a player.
Yeah,
Because the market ain't gonna stay the same in no field.
for sure.
In tech, in real estate, in the stock market, in trucking, Uber, no market stays the same. So the best time is always now, because one, you could be here today, gone tomorrow.
For sure.
I don't know what you waiting on the crowd. Like, some of all the people I done seen pass away in my life, damn, I was just with them a few days ago.
Yeah,
So it's never an excuse to wait, because
it ain't guaranteed.
y'all moving around like this shit a dress rehearsal. Like, life, you get one time to do this. So that's it.
That's it.
As far as he concerned, that's it. So I always thought like that as young. Like, people be like, why you so young? Why you dropping out? Why you doing this? Bruh,
This is
I heard the Tupac interview said, black man in America, once you hit 30, you done went to jail and had a kid or something that make you defeated.
yeah.
I believe that when I heard him say that, when Kendrick Lamar put that at the beginning of his album, you know? So at the end of the day, like, I always move with that intention that if an opportunity gets put in front of me, then God, that's the way God's speaking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But on the other side of it, you got to identify your strategy. Right now might not be the best time to buy and hold, you know what I'm saying? Because the market is at a high point. Interest rates are high. It's hard to cash flow. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I would say a buying opportunity is coming, you know? But now for people that's like, I just need to learn how to make some money,
Yeah.
then I would say right now is the best time to get into development specifically.
Okay.
Because when you look at the numbers, the U.S. is behind 4 million houses. All right, so if we understand normal supply and demand, then if we behind 4 million houses, what does that do to price? Price go up because the demand is higher than the actual supply.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, with the high interest rates, now we dealing with an issue where it's hard for people to actually qualify to get these properties.
Yeah.
So then when you look at it, we really like 7 million units behind in order to like try to deal with the affordability issue.
Yeah.
In my mind, it ain't going backwards. Like,
Nah, hell no.
my generation, like the American dream, that's over with. It's dead and gone. Like, anybody, I'm gonna say it like this: anybody that's under the age of 30, can you name 5 people that you came up with that own their house? Most people under 30.
Hell nah.
They can't even think about owning a house. You know what I mean? So home ownership is becoming more and more unattainable, and I don't see that going backwards. And then when you look at the development side of it, you see all these big hedge funds and institutions like BlackRock, JP Morgan. They invest into build to rent.
Yeah, build a rent.
So follow the money. If you see the people with the most money spending their money on build to rent communities, spending their money on buying neighborhoods, then what does that mean you should do? Position yourself to be the builder selling the build-to-rent communities. Be the builder that's owning the build-to-rent communities, because we heading into a society where you go to work, get your check, you pay rent, you get a stipend for your food, whatever. Like, we heading to like to where everybody on some type of universal income.
Yeah, that's
something like
talking about that earlier. Because the AI, bro, like if you're not paying attention to that, like where everything is shifting to,
yeah.
and people are like, I don't think you can replace the workforce, because how we gonna support the economy, bro? They would change, like universal income solves that riddle,
Yeah.
and the billionaires own everything, and a certain stipend is given to people. And here's the thing about that though, because I look at like a socialist world in the same lens. You always gonna have people that's gonna come up with a solution and get everybody else money. So even in the universal income world, somebody gonna take their money, stack it, develop something that you gonna want, and start taking everybody money. So you always gonna have that same thing. So people always like, if you don't change your mindset from a consumer mindset to a producer, to how do I solve problems and create value, you always is gonna be bleeding money no matter what happens, bro. Always gonna be bleeding.
And I saw you posted it. I'm talking about literally the same morning I was saying, we got to get back into the trades. If you have a trade, you're going to make a killing. From HVAC to plumbing to electrical to like all those things AI cannot touch. Yeah. You're gonna win out here.
Yeah. And you mentioned at the beginning that Triple M method. That's my brain.
Yeah.
So that's why I show people how to get into this game. And I mean, there's a few reasons I do that, but one of the main reasons is because I look at myself as a leader of my generation.
Yeah, for sure.
And the old system failed us. Like the way our parents or our grandparents was taken care of in America during the industrial age, get a job, pay your Social Security, retire with this money, that's over with. Like if you look at the Social Security checks, it say at the bottom that it's going to be insolvent by like 2031.
But we still gonna take your bread anyway, though. You still gotta pay into it. It ain't gonna be here for you, though.
That is gone.
You gotta pay, because really you're paying people that's getting it right now. Your money ain't gonna be here when you come around.
It's over with.
But I'm gonna challenge what you said. The old system didn't fail us. It was built this way. It was like this system was never designed for us to win long term. And the problem is that we playing a game that was never even, like a win was never put on the board for us.
It never.
So we gotta change our mindset. That's why I hate when people are so like locked in on government voting politics. I'm like, I get it. It's something that you may need to do, but if you don't develop your own solutions, this world, this country, if you just you wasn't even in the Constitution initially, right? They barely put you in there now just for you to be quiet, but for a win, they're not developing no strategies. If you waiting on that, you waiting on the next, we just need the right president, the right Congress. None of that shit's coming, right? None of it's coming. It's actually only getting worse.
Yeah.
So like from an investing standpoint, let's like step outside the real estate one side. Like what else you got your hands in, or are you in the stocks? Are you in the crypto? Like what else you looking at?
I got a little bit of money in crypto. I'm heavy in real estate right now.
Just real estate.
Like right now, I'm just focused on running my bag up as high as I can, because I do believe a buying moment is coming for anything. I feel like right now, I'm looking at going, load the boat on a stock right now. Just because I'm not a stock expert, but I'll be watching, certain people that I view as experts, and I'm looking at it, and right now seem like a good point to get into the market.
They say that everything is on sale, and we should view it as everything is on sale, and buy into companies that strong companies that's always gonna work. So my thing is like, I'm like,
Nvidia on sale right now.
Yeah, Nvidia on sale big time. Like
I'm on some ready to.
But the thing is, they're saying, well, it may go a little lower. So I don't know actually what your right entry point into. That's how I've been asking, like, what is the right entry point into a certain stock? Because with now Trump saying, hey, I'm gonna put 100% tariffs on China and stuff, just still gonna continue to go down, down, down.
Yeah, it's I think, like you said, like in every market, because you notice you got your stock people that in 2020, 2021, they was talking a whole lot of shit because it looked real good and everybody was winning. And now that the market down, a lot of people are quiet because they only experts when it's up. And to have staying power, you gotta be experts during the down market, the up market as just when it's just plateau because hey, whether you got options or puts or whatever, you can always win if you really know that shit.
Now look, shout out to Trap.
Trap is
this city,
he one of them ones.
Trap put out a play, dog.
He one of the ones, bro.
I don't really understand it too much, but so I couldn't play the game. But he put out a play, and then they ate off of it,
Bro.
They shorted the SPY.
Yeah.
They shorted the S&P,
Yeah.
and shit, they ate off that one. So I am definitely, I'm one of the best pieces of advice I got, and this was when I was thinking about where I was contemplating, should I drop out, should I finish?
Yeah.
And one of my mentors like, Abram, you only got 100% of you. That's it. So you could give 50% to college, 20% of your glass business, and whatever else left to this real estate business,
Or just
or
go
you
all
could
in.
drop out and go all in and give 100% to the thing that
That's
you
it,
know
bro.
you prove the concept. And then when you get to the point where you could do this, do that, then, let's look at that. So I always believe in 100% focus on that one thing, because at the end of the day, I could try to get in the stocks, I could do this, do that, but it's really just gonna slow down what I already know is taking me to the top.
That's what multiple streams of income throw people.
That is the master key to success. I tell people, if you want to get fast, study the greats. The greats focus on one thing, built a foundation on one thing, and then once that was booming, they would start doing other things. If you think about Jeff Bezos invested in hundreds of companies. But what is he known for?
He used Amazon.
He used Amazon.
All those companies.
There it is.
And they, like the diaper company that he first had about it, is an Amazon product.
Come on, bro. So is this focusing on one thing and being great? Everybody think, man, I used to have that problem. I used to be like, man, I got my hand in this. Oh, bro, I got this going on. And you chasing for pats on the back, but really, are you making money? You so stretched that you can't.
Because, bro, I did that. Yeah. I bought a Amazon company for $45,000, an Amazon store. And I read it on Instagram. Second source of income. They said the average of a millionaire got 7, but then somebody broke it down to me. And they 7 sources of income don't mean 7 different businesses. It's like a highway. You imagine like an interstate, and then they start adding lanes to it. So, okay, wholesaling, which is something I don't do anymore, but wholesaling allowed me to sell my IP of wholesaling and show people how to do it. That's another lane. It allowed me to get into development. That's another lane. It allowed me to get into throwing events. That's another lane.
All of that is all tied to what you do. It's all tied to the main thing.
Exactly. So keep the main thing the main thing.
That's a fact.
How y'all do that in y'all business?
Man, same thing, bro. We really been pivoting since 2019. Pivot techs, master pivoters, bro. We done went from B2C, you know what I'm saying, chasing tuition to to B2B, chasing bags from business. Now we in B2G and a little B2B. We get government checks. Government. So yeah, we got government contracts now. We got business contracts.
And they with the prison system too.
We're in a prison now. We in like our 4th prison that we in now, which the prison system game is good because that's one place that ain't never gonna run out of money. Like they always gonna have bread, and they got.
This really I feel like, that's the people that need it the most.
Now they need it, bro. Every time we walk through them prisons, bro, it's like it's 23, 24-year-old young dudes in there, bro, and you can see it in their eyes, bro. You can just see how they got swept up. Like they didn't have that support system or that system around, bro. And it's a tidal wave that's gonna sweep you up if you can't get focused. I think right now is like the time, even if you're not in trouble, bro. Even if you stay out the streets. Even if you stay in the house, if you can't control your mind and your attention, it's still gonna knock you dead. If you were to stick right now,
You're dead as heck tonight.
But even if you're not in the street, bro, I feel like you can be at home in a fucking cluster because you going from this to this to this to this to that. Then you trying this, you trying that, and you looking for light into the bottom. You looking for that one thing that's gonna just take off. You like, damn man, Abram doing this. he hear it, how can I get there in a month? Like, you don't want to hear this 7-year story of all these steps. You just see the end goal. You don't even at your end goal, but you see where you are right now, and you want that instantaneously. And I think that's what people see that's throwing everybody off. Yeah. They think that they can start a pivot tech in 3 months because they know code, no, they know tech, and they don't understand like pivot came about because I had 9 years of tech experience and entrepreneurship experience. Josh been in entrepreneurship for 20 years and had hella relationships all over the city. We brought it all together.
Probably it's the man trials and tribulations.
Man, what is a speed? You got laundry, man. Everything.
And people don't see how the combination of all of that created what we doing right now. And people gonna just jump right into it without those trials, without those risks. You know what I'm saying? Without that journey. And I think the coolest thing about it, don't let you speak to it. Will you say like the journey been the dopest part about it? Like even it, like that first deal, but I can see you speaking with joy just on how you did that and proved it to yourself. And like then you build it up and people want to skip that. But really that's the whole process. Like that process to me, like bro, I was 19, I got my first bag and I did this and like those stories, being able to have those memories, like to me, that's the whole thing that people want everything.
Everything. And I would say like how you climb a mountain. I ain't never climbed a mountain, but how you climb one. Watch that with the time. I was saying, fellas, so like it's good to start with the end in mind. You know, so how I like to explain that is when you about it, if I'm gonna go climb a mountain, I'm gonna look at the top one time, then I'm gonna get to work. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to work one step at a time. So like somebody that's just starting off and you looking at somebody like me or looking at somebody like y'all or looking at somebody that's even ahead, because there's levels to it.
There's levels.
You go levels. Things you just, bro, I'm looking at people that's 10 times where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? But I understand where I'm at, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you looking at somebody that's ahead of you, okay, get good at down your back. If somebody that's watching this right now, you at 0, you just looking at what to start, I suggest you build a skill. Like I'm telling you, moving forward, there's only 3 ways to make real money in America for the new generation coming up. You got to build a skill, and I'm talking about that's a trade, something you go get certified, licensed in, and start making money in like 3-4 weeks, 3-4 months, not 3-4 years. So that might be HVAC.
Come on.
Some type of trade, cause them, bro, I'm telling you, some of the richest people walking around right now is your plumbers and HVAC guys. They stacking cash because it's big need for them right now. So building a skill, of course, entrepreneurship, you know what I'm saying? Starting a business. I believe in service-based businesses right now. I think that's the best. You know what I'm saying? Position yourself to be the service of something that's hot right now, that is going to be hot, you know, for the next 10 to 20 years. Development is one of the, you know, other things there. And then also AI technology, being in that, if you could be one of the subject experts of that, which we ain't got that in America, like,
now we build every like answer really all folks by the end of this year, bro. To be the SME in this AI space because they're going nowhere, and that's
China just made it to where they kids are around 6 years or so.
Preparing and we working on a lot of stuff that we can't really talk about right now, but we working on being a solution to that problem that America has, where it's not. It's a bag. We finna build that out. It had AI consultant.
Oh yeah, we went right from it.
If you're not into that, I think you touched on all of it. Skill development, entrepreneurship, and technology. And if you don't like eat none of those lanes, then this is one of those moments where you gotta just eat or swallow your pride and then just do, like, at some point we gotta just do what we gotta do. Like,
you gotta start small.
You gotta start small.
You know, you guys, what would you say?
No, I was just saying, like, we gotta take the steps, but you gotta pick a lane. We can't fight the currents. Like, the currents are moving this direction, and we may want to go back to how it used to be, but there's no return back to the old days, like the factory job, 401ks, and 30 years of the company. Like, those days, the corporate world, and like, today, like, that's over. So you know, it's the one that's easy to adapt that will survive. Like, we gotta stop fighting change or resist the change. And really, black people primarily we got to get together, man, because they not gonna save us. So we go.
For sure. So let's just talk about how do they get involved with your community? I know you build your brand. I see you all over social media, but how do they get involved with? Hey, I want to get into real estate. I really want to understand the game. I really want to get into development. And we talk about investing in yourself because you know he does some free stuff, but then there's some next level stuff. So how do they get in and tap in with your community?
So first off, I always want to point people to the free. You know what I'm saying? So you can follow me on Instagram, Abram, Abram Mitchell _. That's on all platforms. So following my Instagram page, I put out a lot of free content. I like to show people through my lens what's going on in the day-to-day of a multi-seven-figure development operation, because that's what we do now. But then at the same time, I got something for y'all. So I got a free mini course. I'm gonna give you the link so you can drop that in the comment section. In the caption, then y'all just click that link and then y'all be able to download my free mini bundle and it's gonna give y'all the first, like what's the first step? 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? We're getting started off and that's completely free of charge because at the end of the day, like, yeah, we got, you know, higher level of access and how we help people. But I know a lot of people that look like me, they ain't got nothing right now.
Yeah.
I need to help you just get started. So even back to what I was saying earlier, like pick something with skill, entrepreneurship, AI, and then make sure it's a vehicle that you can make $150,000 in. You know what I'm saying? And then focus on getting to like that first 250. Not saved up, but getting to something that could produce, you know, $150,000, $200,000 for you a year. Because I would say within like 3 years, you probably could stack up like $50,000 to $75,000. You know what I mean? Don't focus on stacking up 50, 100,000 in 6 months, because then when you don't, you go get discouraged, you go stop.
Yeah.
Let's make a plan. Like over the next 3 years, I'm gonna put up 20, 25,000 every single year. And then at the end of this 3 years, I'm gonna have, you know, about $50,000, $75,000 to make a move. You know what I'm saying? Once you got 50 to 75,000, you should be able to put that in a play that'll make you a multiple on that. You know what I'm saying? Invest it right. 50, 70 grand could make you 100,000 plus, which I show people every time you build a house, you shouldn't make nothing less than 6 figures on it. But at the end of the day, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I hear it. And also make sure you like, subscribe, get in the community, find your tribe, man. We're building it out one goal away. But if you're not in one goal away, if you got your own communities, it's really important right now to find your tribe of like-minded people that can really keep you accountable, keep you locked in, man. I think we all need people around us that push us, man. Iron sharp as iron, you know what I'm saying? So get around people that want to see you going in that direction, man. And I'm gonna try to get Abram to come in. So within our community, man, we have like business, we have like a fitness side, we have a financial side, and we want to get like some SMEs, some experts every now and then to come in, might just drop some game, drop some info.
Yeah, just let me know.
Well, you know, we're gonna have Abram come through, drop some information, man. This dude is really doing what he's talking about. Please tap in with him, follow his Instagram. Do not miss out on this content that he developed, that he's giving out free. Only if you click the link right now can you go in there and get this information, man. And if you want to drop anything else before we head out?
Man, appreciate y'all having me on.
Man, no doubt, bro. No
The
doubt.
motto I've been going by is nobody gonna save us except for us. It ain't the president. It ain't even your parents at certain points. Like I'm telling you, if they wanted to save us, they're gonna spend $1 trillion in the hood.
Come on.
Problem fixed. So at the end of the day, it's done by design. Like you said, we weren't made to win in this system. So we gotta help each other. We got more developers around than we develop in our community. We determining how it look, where we grow up at. And at the end of the day, the kids is the future. The better we can set them up, then the better our future look.
Let's go.
There it is, man. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of One Goal Away. Your boy, Coach Q.
The boy, Jay Mundy. Let's go.
We out.